I'm going to show you how to make this cute grape design that hangs on a ring, and you can hang this on your wine bottle, or you can use it as a keychain also. But you're going to need your H or 5mm crochet hook to make this, and you're also going to need your tapestry needle as well as a pair of scissors. And you're also going to need, I used this DMC 2 metal rings, and they're 1.5 inch by 4 centimeters. Comes in a pack of 2. This is what it looks like, and here it just opens up really easily, and you can hook the crochet on the end. And you're also going to need your G crochet hook or 4mm crochet hook. The yarn that I used, it looks blue on video, but it's actually a really pretty purple, and it's Red Heart Super Saver. Dark Orchid is the color. And then for the lighter purple, I used also Red Heart Super Saver, and it is a medium purple color. And the green that I used for the leaf and the curl stem is Dark Sage, and this is Karen's Simply Soft. Okay, so now we're going to make our grapes. So you're going to need 9 of the darker purple grapes and then 3 of the lighter color. So I'm going to show you, you're going to make them all the same. So I'm just going to show you how to make one. So we're going to do a magic circle. So you just take the yarn that you're using to make your grapes and drape the yarn across your 4 fingers. Use your thumb to help stabilize, and then wrap the yarn around your 2 middle fingers twice and hold it in place with your pinky and thumb. And then take your H crochet hook or a 5mm crochet hook and go under those 2 loops around your middle fingers. You're going to bring up a loop, and then you're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through that loop for a slip knot. And now you're going to do 6 single crochet into the magic circles. You're going to go under those 2 loops, bring up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through both of those loops for 1 single crochet. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now you're going to take your 4-finger and your thumb, and you're going to hold it at the base of those 6 single crochet. You're going to have those 2 loops on the opposite side of the magic circle. You're going to grab one of them and pull, and it should close. If it doesn't close, you're going to let go and pull on the other one, but this one is closing, so just pull it loosely, not too tight, and then take and pull on the loose yarn end, and you don't have to worry about pulling on it real tight. And then you're going to take your crochet hook and go into that first stitch. So just go under both of those loops of that first stitch. You're going to yarn over, we're going to just slip stitch, yarn over and pull the yarn through both loops on your hook for a slip stitch. And then you're going to yarn over to finish off. Just pull enough yarn through to bury into your grape. Now you can go ahead and pull to close the center of the magic circle. So now you have your little grape. And what you're going to do now is just bury all of your loose yarn ends. So take your tapestry needle and take your loose yarn end, and you're just going to take and weave it through the back of your grape and then cut the loose yarn end. It's better to do this now than later, because then you just have all these loose yarn ends everywhere and it's a mess. So I found it easier just to bury them and get them out of the way. Now go ahead, you can see how you have a neat little grape. Go ahead and finish making all of your grapes. You need 3 of the lighter colors, and then you need 9 of the darker color. After you have all of your grapes, you're going to start sewing them together. So you're going to take your tapestry needle with the darker colored yarn, and then you're just going to take your grapes, and I'm going to start with the bottom part of the grape, and then I'm going to take and from the other side of one of the grapes, just grab a stitch and bring your tapestry needle through, leaving enough yarn on the back to bury your loose yarn end. And then you're just going to sew the two grapes together. So go ahead and sew the two grapes together and then come back. Actually, I'm just going to show you. You're just going to take your grapes and sew two on top, just like this. So one on the bottom and then two on top, and then come back. So now I have three of the grapes sewn together, and on the back I just have the one loose yarn end that I'm going to bury later. And I have my sewing thread or yarn coming up here. Now I'm going to take a lighter color and just sew it onto the top here. And then I'm going to do two darker colors and sew those across the top. So go ahead and sew on a lighter color and then two darker colors and then come back. So this is how your work should look so far. You have the one circle here and then two circles here and then two darker circles and one lighter circle there. So now you're going to take a lighter circle and sew it in between the two darker circles, and then two dark circles are going to go right here like that, and then you're going to do a dark circle here, a dark circle there, and a light circle. So the grape is going to go at an angle, and as you can see, this is how the angle is going to go because the leaf is going to cover that part of the grape. So go ahead and sew your grapes on, and then I'll show you how to make the leaf. So this is how your grapes should look after you've sewn them together. So you have the one dark circle here, two dark circles, and then you have two dark circles and one light circle, and then one light circle and two dark circles, and then two dark circles and a light circle. And now you're going to take your tapestry needle, since you finished sewing towards the top, and just take and weave it down towards where your loose yarn end is. And then you can tie a knot. Then you can take and just bury the loose yarn ends. So go ahead and bury your other loose yarn end and then come back and I'll show you how to do the leaf. To make the leaf, you're going to need your 4mm or G crochet hook, and go ahead and take your green yarn that you're using, and you're going to just kind of loop the yarn over on itself. We're going to do our slip knot. Take your crochet hook and put it through the loop, and then take your middle finger and thumb and hold it at the base, then yarn over and go through that loop for your slip knot. And now you're going to make a chain of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you're going to take and go into the second chain from the hook. So the second chain from the hook, you're going to do a single crochet. So you're going to bring up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through both for a single crochet. And then you're going to do a half double crochet into the next stitch. So you're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through all 3 for a half double crochet. And then we're going to do 1 more half double crochet, yarn over and go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, yarn over and go through all 3 for a half double crochet. Now we're going to do a double crochet, yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2. Now we're going to do another double crochet, so yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. Now we're going to do a treble crochet, so you're going to yarn over twice, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2. Now we're going to do a double crochet into the next stitch, so yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2. Now we're going to do a half double crochet, yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through all 3 for a half double crochet. And then in the last stitch you're going to do a single crochet, and then you're going to do another single crochet in that last stitch. So you're actually doing 2 single crochets in that last stitch, and as you're doing that you're turning your work, and we're going to bury the loose yarn end as we work, and we're going to do the exact same stitches on the other side, so on the opposite side. Now you're just going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through all 3 for a half double crochet. Then you're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2 for a double crochet. And now we're going to do another double crochet, yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and yarn over and go through 2. And now we're going to do a treble crochet, so you're going to yarn over twice, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2. Now we're going to do a double crochet, so you're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. And now we're going to do another double crochet, so you yarn over, go into the next loop, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2. And now we're going to do a half double crochet, so yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through all 3 for a half double crochet. And then we're going to do another half double crochet in the next stitch. And now we're going to do a single crochet into the next stitch. And then right into the tip, we're going to take our crochet hook and go right into the tip of the leaf, and then we're going to go ahead and do a slip stitch. So you're going to yarn over and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch, and that just makes a nice point for the leaf. Now you're going to go ahead and finish off, yarn over, and then bring enough yarn through to bury into our work. And then you can go ahead and just cut that loose yarn in that we buried, if it still has a little bit hanging out. If you buried it completely, then you don't have to worry about it. And so now go ahead and take your loose yarn end and put it onto a tapestry needle. And then you're going to take that loose yarn end and you're going to go up through that point, because you want the end of the leaf to be pointy. And then you can go ahead and weave the tapestry needle through the leaf to bury that loose yarn end. So now you have a leaf, and we're going to go ahead and make 3 of those leaves, and then I'm going to show you one more leaf, how we're going to do the bigger leaf. So you're going to need 3 just like this, and then I'm going to show you how to make the middle leaf. Okay, for the middle leaf, we're going to do our slip knot. So you just fold the loop over on itself, and then we're still using our 4mm or G crochet hook, and then you're going to yarn over and just bring the yarn through that loop for a slip knot. And this time you're going to chain 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we made a chain of 20, and now we're going to make the leaf the same way, except this time we're going to have a little bit of a tail hanging out. So I'm going to go ahead and make this leaf with you. So you're going to make a single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and then you're going to do 2 half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 1 half double crochet in the next stitch and 1 half double crochet into the second stitch. Then you're going to do 2 double crochets. So 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 1 double crochet in the next stitch and 1 double crochet into the second stitch. Then we're going to do a treble crochet. So you're going to yarn over twice, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2. Then we're going to do a double crochet into the next stitch, half double crochet into the next stitch, and a single crochet into the next stitch. And then we're going to do 2 single crochets into that same stitch, and then turn your work to work on the opposite side. So now we're going to work on the opposite side, and you have this long tail hanging out. So now you're going to do a half double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, treble crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, half double crochet into the next stitch. Oop, hooked that wrong. Half double crochet into the next stitch, and then you're going to do a single crochet into the next stitch, and then you're going to go into the top of the leaf, the top stitch of the leaf, and you're going to do a slip stitch, and then you're going to finish off. So now you can go ahead and bury your loose yarn end, and this is going to be the center leaf, and then you're going to need 3 more just like the first one to make the side leaves, and then come back. Okay, so now you should have your one leaf with the long stem, and then you have 3 other leaves, and we're going to sew the leaves together. So you're going to need your tapestry needle and the same colored yarn. And what you're going to do is you're going to sew the side of the leaves. So the first 3 stitches on the side next to the stem, you're going to sew those to the 3 stitches on one of the leaves, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So you just take your tapestry needle and you're just going to weave through the stitches on each leaf, and make sure you leave enough yarn for burying the loose yarn end, and then you're going to come back across the second stitch, and you're just grabbing the superficial stitch on both leaves. And now you can go ahead and tie your knot. So you can see how I have the leaves right now. And I'm going to go ahead and sew one more stitch together. So I'm going to take the tapestry needle and go under the stitch on one leaf and then go through the stitch on the second leaf and just sew those together. And then I'm going to take another leaf and make sure you don't sew the point. So the wider side will go out, and then just take and put that third leaf right at the point where the stem is. And then you're going to take your tapestry needle and just sew into that leaf as well. And you're just going to sew those leaves together. And then you're going to take and bring your thread over. You can sew as you're coming across. I'm just going to sew this one side to the leaf, just like this. And then I'm going to take the fourth leaf, and then I'm going to sew that on the other side. So I'm going to take and hook it with my tapestry needle on the other side. And then I'm going to sew the sides together, just the first 3 stitches of the 2 leaves. Just sew those together. And this is how the leaf looks so far. And now I'm going to place my grapes. And just sew the leaf onto the grape. Take the second leaf from the stem, the side of that leaf, and place it right over the side of the grapes. And then just take your tapestry needle and just go down into the back of the grape and just sew the leaf in place. And then once you've sewn this leaf in place, then you can come up and sew the other leaf to the top portion of the grape. So this is what the grape looks like so far. Now I'm going to show you how to do the curly part of the leaf. You're going to take your green yarn again, and we're going to do a slip knot. So just fold the yarn over on itself, and then yarn over and pull the yarn through the loop for a slip knot. And now you're going to make a chain of 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. So now you have a chain of 20, and what you're going to do is you're going to do 3 single crochet into every stitch across. So in the next stitch over, you're going to do 3 single crochet in the same stitch. And then 3 single crochet into the next stitch. And you're just going to keep doing 3 single crochet into every stitch all the way back to the end. So go ahead and finish doing 3 single crochet into every stitch all the way to the end, and then come back. Okay, you can see how it curls on itself, and you can make it as long and curly as you want. And then you're going to go ahead and finish off. So yarn over and pull enough yarn through for sewing. And then you can just take your tapestry needle on the end that you left for sewing and just take it at the base of the stem. So right at the base of the stem, just take and sew the little curly part on. And then you could take your other loose yarn end and just tie a knot and then bury your loose yarn ends and then come back. Now you have the curly part of the leaf that you can hang in the front, or you can hang it in the back or to the side, whatever you want to do with it. And then you have your stem, which you can take your loop and then just take and go through one of the stitches of the stem. And then you can close the loop and you're able to hang it. And now you have your finished grapes.